I finished Harry Potter. I am so excited.
It's like the best nonfiction book I've read in my entire life, probably.
That I had to read that with my eyeballs made me mad. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting a new reading vlog. It is a New Year's edition reading vlog because it is now December 27th. And so this will be continuing into the new year and then ending sometime within the first week of 2025. So the number one priority, which you probably already know for me to read this week, and hopefully what you're going to see a lot of in this vlog, fingers crossed, is Harry Potter in Spanish. It is book number 1 in Spanish, and I have been working on it this entire year. I will be honest, I really didn't work on it from months like 3 until 11. I kind of just ignored it for the majority of the year. And then in November, I started realizing if I want to finish this before the year is over, which was my number one reading goal this year, then I'm really going to have to book it. And I'm really going to have to work hard and start actually prioritizing reading it. And so then I kind of started maybe a week ago, actually, read a little bit in November, then kind of left it. And now I actually really genuinely am prioritizing it. I'm about just over 70%, give or take. And I have roughly 5 hours and 50 minutes left. I have like 4 days left, right, to finish this book before it's then officially 2025, and I cannot say that I finished it in 2024. And so my number one goal is just to finish this book now, like tomorrow if possible. I don't think that I can devote that much time to it because I still have other things to do and I'm still working and whatnot. But if I cannot finish it by the morning of December 31st, if I'm not positive I can finish it by that morning, then I absolutely will stay up all night of December 30th trying to finish it. I am ready and willing to devote as much time to it as needed in a single night, if it has to be so, to finish this book so that I'm finished before any New Year's celebrations. Because I don't want to have to celebrate New Year and then also think I still have to read Harry Potter. I just want to be done with it and not have to worry about it. And I also kind of would like to finish another book or two this year. I'm not going to mention anything in this beginning update because I'm just not really sure what I'm gonna read, what direction I'm gonna go in, if I'm only gonna read Harry Potter, if I'm gonna read anything else. I just don't know. I have a lot of books available to me at my library, and I have a lot of books available that I've purchased or gotten for free from all the Stuff Your Kindle days at the end of the year. There have been like 2 or 3 that I participated in, and I have probably 100, 150 books total on my Kindle that I could pick from to read if I wanted to. So I have a lot of options, but I think I'm just going to focus on Harry Potter. This is just going to be a very quick introductory update for you to say main priority, Harry Potter. We will see if I do anything else.
Denim jeans, broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the young, so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies laid on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening. No, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, honestly.
Hi, I am filming a video real quick just to let everyone know that it is December 30th and I am working on my computer. I still have work for a little bit longer. It's 10 p.m. I am not finished with Harry Potter. I still have 4 hours left. I think 4 hours and like 5 minutes, maybe 4 hours, 10 minutes, something like that. So at least it's on the lower end of 4 hours. However, I still absolutely have 4 hours left. I am so tired. I just want to go to sleep right now, but I still have to finish my work. And then I still have to read 4 hours ideally tonight because I really would like to be finished before tomorrow. But my husband and I don't really have that many plans. We just have to go grocery shopping before the stores close tomorrow and then have a nice dinner together and everything. That's kind of our only plans. Like, we're just going to relax at home this year, which is nice for me because I'm probably going to have to finish Harry Potter tomorrow. I don't think that I'm going to be able to do all 4 hours tonight, especially because, like I said, it's literally already 10 p.m. I said that I would be ready and willing to stay up all night and finish it if I had to, but here I am, and it's 10 p.m., like 10:15, and I'm super tired and I just want to go to sleep. I'm definitely going to get through at least 1 hour tonight. I'm really going to try to do 2 hours, especially if I can finish my work in the next like 15-20 minutes. Then I'll be in bed before 11 p.m. And I anyways usually read until midnight, if not even a little bit later. So hopefully I'll just be able to push myself a little bit more tonight and then finish it in time. This is like so stressful. Like, why did I do this to myself? I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. We're just gonna have to see because it makes me really sleepy. Like, using all of my brain power to learn the Spanish words that I'm coming across in the chapters. And luckily, it's becoming so much easier for me. Like, it's actually shocking when I started reading it every single day, even just for 30 minutes every single day. Like, this past week, it has been so easy to read it, actually, and I feel like I'm only having to look up, I don't know, like 5 to 10 words per chapter, and I feel like the chapters are pretty long. And before it was like 5 words per page, maybe even 5 to 10 words per page. And so I'm really proud of myself for improving on that front. However, it still makes me really tired, and reading for just 30 minutes, like, I just kind of want to take a nap afterwards. I have pushed myself to read for an hour like once so far in the past week, but for the most part, I have really not push myself to read at like long sprints. So this is kind of going to be the first time reading in Spanish for hopefully 2 hours, maybe more than 2 hours. I don't know if at this point in time, when I'm already so tired and I still have to finish a little bit of work before I go to sleep, that I'm going to be able to do 2 hours. I don't know, fingers crossed. At least I have my little buddy fish with me right here. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get my work done and then I can start on Harry Potter. The sooner the better. Hi, so quick update. Today is December 31st, so happy new year. I cannot believe that this is the last day of 2024. I like literally, what happened? Where did the time go?
It's like actually frustrating. I feel like every year gets faster and faster and faster. And I understand that's like the theory of like whatever it's called, age. Like when you're 5 years old, 1 year of your life is 1/5 of your entire life. So that's a huge percentage and it's a huge deal. However, when you're 50, then all of a sudden 1 year of your life is just 1/50th of your entire life. And so it's really actually not that much. And so that's why it keeps going faster and faster and faster. But like, my goodness, though, I feel like 2024 really did not last any time at all. And so here I am on the last day of the year, still not finished with Harry Potter. However, I'm almost finished. I'm confident I'm going to finish today. There's no doubt in my mind. I did not read as much as I wanted to last night because I ended up passing out like literally 30-45 minutes into reading. And then I woke up again at like 1:40 in the morning, give or take. And then I got up and I did some jumping jacks and kind of like splashed some cold water on my face, woke myself up a little bit. And then I continued reading for maybe 30-45 more minutes. So I read for like an hour and a half, give or take, and not much more than that, which is disappointing. And then I woke up this morning and I read a little bit as well. And so now I am 84% of the way through with the book and I have 2 hours and 56 minutes left. So it's less than 3 hours. That's good. It is still more than I would wish and hope for. However, it's really not that bad, seeing as it's like 11:30, 12 right now, give or take. And I'm anyways going to be up until midnight tonight. I do have to work and I do have to do other things, and we're going to have my husband and I just like stay at home and relax and have like a nice traditional dinner. It's like raclette, which is like a grill kind of, but you put it on the table and you have these little things that you stick into it, and you usually eat it with like potatoes and miscellaneous toppings, and then you put like a raclette cheese, like it's a very specific type of Swiss cheese on top, and it's so good. And so we're going to do that. It's very traditional around here to do that for New Year's. In Germany in general, it's traditional to do it for either Christmas or New Year's usually. Like families do it for one or the other. And Matthias's family, my husband, is kind of the one that tends to do it for New Year's. So we have our own little machine and then we're just going to have like our own dinner together. But that's probably going to take a lot of preparation time, and it sure takes a long time to eat. And it's just a lot of work. And so of the like roughly 12 hours I have until midnight, a lot of them are kind of already taken up. However, again, this is just under 3 hours that I have to finish. And also I feel like the more I read it, the quicker I'm getting, which is super exciting. So I'm really hoping that this 2 hours and 54 minutes is going to end up being something more like 2 hours and 30 minutes, maybe even a little bit less. I don't know, we'll see. That's my hope, so fingers crossed. But yeah, I'm liking it, and I forgot literally so much that happened in this book. Like things are like really progressing quickly and dramatically right now, and I just feel like I don't know, did I even read this book in English or in German? Like I am shocked by the amount of things that I did not really notice. And I think maybe it's more because when I was reading it in German, my level was already pretty high. And so I didn't need to take as much time as I'm taking with Spanish. But like with Spanish, like really it's grueling. It takes a while. I feel like I've gotten pretty quick, but it still definitely takes longer than it takes in English. And I'm reading every single word and I'm making sure I understand every single concept. And so I think it's a combination of it's been so long since I read the first two, and I read it in English and then in German almost directly after one another. And then I think it's been maybe like 4 or 5 years, honestly, maybe even more, like 6 or 7, where I've not read it at all. And now I'm reading it in Spanish. And so I think it's a combination of that. And then I just really have to take my time and be very deliberate with how I'm reading it. But I'm really liking it. I completely forgot about Norbert. I'm pretty sure is his name in English, and in Spanish it's Norberto. And it makes me like laugh so hard every single time. And I don't understand why, but it's italicized every single time when it's written in the book, which is weird to me because it's just a name and nobody else's name is italicized. It's just like always like da-da-da-da, Norberto with like italics, and it's so dramatic. And he's a little dragon, and I just love it so much, and I just really am enjoying the book in general. And then also, real quick, what I totally forgot to mention in my update in the first place in this vlog was I'm actually also reading another book, or listening to it on audiobook on Libby, and it's called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John something, I don't know. I'll put the book on the screen, of course, so that you can see who the author is. This is basically a Christian book about how the world nowadays is like so obsessed with hurrying and rushing and just being busy all the time, especially being busy just for the sake of being busy. And it really takes a toll spiritually on a person, especially as a Christian. It's not very biblical to just constantly be busy all the time and to not take aside time for yourself and for your relationship with God and for spirituality, just for your spirit and your soul, to take quiet time for yourself. And so this whole book is just about how there's all these common practices in society that spiritually really destroy a person, so to speak. You really need to be deliberate and careful and intentional with setting aside this time for yourself and not saying yes to too many things, learning how to say no to things, and yada yada yada. And it is so good. Like, it is so good. It's like the best nonfiction book I've read in my entire life, probably. It's for sure the best nonfiction Christian book that I have ever read, by far. Like, nothing even compares. If you are a Christian, you should be reading this book. It is so good. It's really not that long, so it's not that much of a commitment. I read some reviews from people who did not like it, and it seems like the main reason people don't like it is his writing is a little bit too straightforward, a little bit too analytical, a little bit too blunt sometimes, and like a little bit too facts-based, and some people don't like that. But he says in the beginning of the book that he is very analytical and that he's an INTJ from the MBTI, I think it's called, personality tests. And as a fellow INTJ, I think maybe that's why I like his writing so much. Like, I just also am very analytical and can also be very blunt, and so I just really like his very straightforward writing style. If that's something that you think would probably rub you the wrong way, then maybe just read a summary of the book where the key points are talked about, but I still think it's so worth it and valuable to at least look up those key points, because truly, they're so good. Like, it will change your life, literally, if you're a Christian. I think even if you're not a Christian, there's still so much you could take away from this book, especially if you're spiritual at all. I think there's so many other religions that have the same idea, that busyness and like the hurry disease, as he calls it in the book, with just like being so impatient nowadays and demanding things immediately. I think most religions honestly have a similar take on that it's really not great, especially for your spiritual self, to constantly be in this state of hurrying and impatience and stress because of hurrying. I feel like most religions would probably share a similar belief and would probably also benefit from this book, but it's definitely very Christian based. So yeah, I think probably it's more just for Christians. However, if you're interested in it and you're not a Christian, I still think it's worth it to check it out. Or again, like I mentioned, just look up the key points at least, because truly some really good points. And I'm like 50% of the way through with listening to that. I'm not listening to it that much. I believe I only have 1 day left for my loan at the library, which really sucks because I'm definitely not going to finish it in time. I'd be shocked if I did, because I've got Harry Potter to work on. But the good news is that for my Christmas present from someone, I got some money to buy books. And so I actually already bought The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, and it is currently on its way to me. I'm so happy that I did, because one, I'm not going to finish it, I'm pretty sure. And also two, it's one of those books, like I just bought Atomic Habits a while ago, and I just feel like both of these books and some other nonfiction books I've read before, they're just books where you really want to take notes. You really want to be able to underline things, and you really want to be able to highlight things and put little markers on the pages. And I just feel like The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry is absolutely one of those books where I really feel like I really want to and have to do that. And so, yeah, I can't wait for it to arrive. It's just so good.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Hi, here's my final update for my New Year's vlog. Happy 2025, everyone. Starting with the best news of 2024 for me, and also carrying over into probably the best news of 2025 for me. I finished Harry Potter. I am so excited. I honestly felt like it was never gonna happen. Like at the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, especially when I saw by the middle of the year that I think I was only 20% of the way through. By month 6 or month 7 even, I think into July even, I was only 20% of the way through. Then I read quite a bit, but I still never got over 50%. Then I read a lot, put in a lot of effort, and I still only made it to 65%, and then I was stuck there for forever. And then it was really only the very, very, very end of the year where I was like, I am going to do this. I'm going to force myself to do this. And I'm really confident I'm going to read it. And I did. And I'm so happy that I did. It was just a really enjoyable experience. And now for this year, I'm still undecided, but I am thinking probably I want to make my goal to finish 3 books in Spanish. Honestly, that's not that much. I want to say 6. So that every 2 months I'm reading at least 1 book in Spanish. But I also don't want to set myself up for failure And I don't know if that's maybe too big of a goal, but also I feel like by the end of reading Harry Potter, it just was so much easier, like so much easier and so much quicker than in the beginning. And I absolutely feel like in 2 months I could finish book 2. And I've got other books in Spanish that I absolutely feel like I could finish in 2 months. And so I think maybe I'll have my goal be 6 books in Spanish this year. I don't know. And then next year it will be 12, and then 24, and then 48. And then all of a sudden, all the books that I want to read in a single year will be Spanish. I think probably eventually I'll just be so good at reading in Spanish that whenever I feel like picking up a book in Spanish, I'll pick it up and I won't even be thinking twice about it or having to make a goal to motivate myself to read in Spanish. But at this point in time, I absolutely do have to make a goal to motivate myself to read in Spanish. Otherwise, I tend to just put it off, and I think I'll just read in English because I can kind of turn my brain off a little bit and just relax. Whereas in Spanish, it is relaxing and it is really fun, but it is the type of relaxing where your brain is working the whole time. I know people are probably like, that's not relaxing, but I think for me, somebody who's like very type A and whose brain is always running, then it is relaxing for me when my brain is running 100% of the time. It's just dependent on what my brain is running on and like what my brain is thinking about. And if it's a Spanish book, it's okay, but it's just not necessarily what I would reach for. So yeah. Anyways, I really liked it. I think it's going to be anywhere from 3 to 6 books that I want to read this year. I'm still kind of undecided. I just set the same goal as last year in terms of overall reading. So on Goodreads, my reading goal is 104 books. That's 2 books per week. So hopefully from those 104 books, an absolute minimum, like absolute minimum, will be 6 in Spanish. I don't know. And then also maybe 6 in German, because I have not read in German in a really long time. And then I really doubt I'm going to be able to get any of my other languages up to par in time to read any. However, it would be really fun if I could read 1 book in Japanese this year, for example, or 1 book in Portuguese, but I definitely don't think my Portuguese is going to be anywhere near reading level by the end of this year. But my gosh, would I love it to be though. Like, I just love Portuguese so much. Anyways, that's beside the point. I finished Harry Potter. I also started on another book basically right after I finished Harry Potter. So I think it was actually last year that I started it, maybe the morning of January 1st. And it's The Ghost of Marlow House by Bobbie Holmes. And this is one of the books that I got for free during one of the Stuff Your Kindle days, I think in October maybe. If you don't know what Stuff Your Kindle days are, or if you've not participated in any but you would like to, please, 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 please do yourself a favor and check out my community tab on my channel. Then scroll down a little bit. There should be a post where I link to 2 websites that have a ton of different links and information on Stuff Your Kindle Day. And they tell you what the different dates are per year. They're generally the same every single year, so even though that was applicable for 2024, it's definitely still applicable for 2025. You might just have to double check. You could also just go to Google and just manually search for Stuff Your Kindle Day based on whatever genre you like. As long as the genre is not too small, you know, a subgenre or anything. If it's a bigger general kind of genre, you should absolutely be able to find at least 1 Stuff Your Kindle Day, if not multiple Stuff Your Kindle Days. And so this book was, I believe, for the mystery, thriller, etc. kind of Stuff Your Kindle Day in October. I believe it was on Halloween, maybe a little bit before. And I don't know how I feel about it. I am glad that I got it. However, I really wish that it was disclosed. It's my own fault because it absolutely was disclosed on Amazon. I wasn't really looking on Amazon. I was looking on the website where it gave a description of the book and then it said click here to go to the Amazon page for it and then download it. And so I just read the information on the Stuff Your Kindle website and I did not see that this is book 1 out of an ongoing 36. What on earth? 36 books in this series and it's still ongoing. She's written 3 books, I think, this year. That's not this year because this is 2025, last year. Crazy. 3 books last year. I think it was 3 books for sure, at least 2, but I'm pretty sure it was 3. That is wild to me and I don't think honestly that I would have started it if I would have known that it was such a long series, because I feel like I'm not going to be able to not read them all. But I don't want to read them all. That's too many books, I think. Like for me personally, 36 is just too many. If they were all like 100 pages, sure, that's not that bad. Then it's like 5 of them would be equal to like a big fantasy book. That's okay. I could live with that. However, they're not. They're anywhere from 250 pages to 600 pages in a 36 book series. I don't know what Bobbie Holmes is doing. I feel like she's writing 24/7. I feel like she has no free time. I feel like she's not doing anything other than just constantly sitting at her computer typing away, because she's just knocking them out. Like, it's crazy. I've never heard of a series that is so prolific and ongoing. Even just like Outlander, that has like what, 12 books or something. I feel like those are really long though, I have to say. But even that, I've kind of put off really getting into that series, even though I really do like it and I've read the first one and I loved it. I've put off getting into it because it just seems so overwhelming to read 12 books or 10, however many there are. This is 36. Like, I don't think that I would have started it if I would have known. And now that I'm reading it, there are a lot of things I really, really, really don't like about it. I think overall it's fun. And if it were like 5 books, I'd absolutely read all of them because it's just a really quick, easy read, this first one at least. However, not 36. It's kind of really disappointing, but I just don't think that I'm going to continue with it. I think that the MMC, the male main character, his name is Walt. He is 26 years old and his name is Walter, but they call him Walt. That's just a pet peeve of mine, I guess. But it really drives me crazy because I feel like that is such an old person name. Like, not an old person name that you kind of still see nowadays and some young people have it that feels still like very hip or unique. Like, for me, maybe it's because I just know so many Walters and Walts who are grandpas. Like, I know like 5 Walts who are grandpas, like right off the bat. I'm sure if I thought more, I could find like 5 more. I've not heard of anybody under the age of like 60 or 70 who has this name. And I don't feel like it's a very modern name. And I understand that this ghost died in the 1920s. And so of course he would have an old-timey name. But there's so many names that were popular in the 1920s that are still popular now. There's so many names that still sound very modern, still very young, etc. And then this author had to choose Walt. It just like really threw me for a loop. And I honestly, I don't know, I never thought I would be this person, but I kind of can't really get over it. Like, I would continue reading it if I liked everything else and if the series was not so long. It's not like I would stop the series just because his name is Walt. But this is just like one thing added onto the list of ever-growing things about the series that makes me think maybe I don't want to continue with it. And it's just driving me really crazy for some reason and I can't get over it. Unfortunately, that's not even the worst thing. The thing that I really am having a lot of trouble with, that I'm really disliking most in the series, is that he is from the 1920s. And even though he was cognizant the entire time, like in this house, and he was like haunting it, so to speak, he still for some reason does not comprehend that time has gone by, which is weird to me. Like, nobody lived in the house. It was abandoned. Not abandoned, but it was not lived in. And it was just a house cleaner who came once a week to make sure that it wasn't completely abandoned. But nobody lived in it. But people would still come in. Like, realtors would come in, take pictures, etc. And so, like, he's seen cell phones. He's seen people, like, ignoring him. And he still has not put 2 and 2 together and realized that he's dead and a lot of time has passed. I don't know. That's weird to me. And there was really like no explanation given. And he is just like the most misogynistic tool sometimes. Like, I don't understand how he could live in this house for 90 years and see all these people coming in, see house cleaners, like multiple different house cleaners, see them aging up and everything and not comprehend anything and also not grow as a person at all. Like, he is still a misogynistic prick, like how he was when he died, I guess. Like, the very first thing that we see of him is him looking out the window at the FMC, Danielle, I guess is her name. I totally forgot for a second. I'm like 30% into this book now, by the way, and I forgot her name. It's not as memorable as Walt because Walt really rubs me the wrong way and Danielle is just a normal name. But so Danielle is like talking to her friend Lily, and Walt is looking out, and he is like talking about them as if they're like a prize for him, like a slab of meat or whatever. He's just like, oh, the small one's not my type. I don't really like petite busty girls or whatever. Like, bleh. He's like, I don't like redheads, like brunettes are more my style. So the other one is really nice. Like, I'm super interested in her, and she's wearing a blouse. It's a little too tight for my taste, a little strange. I assume she's wearing a skirt underneath, but I can't see from the waist down. So I'm just gonna have to assume it's a skirt. That's so weird. Like, that I had to read that with my eyeballs made me mad. Like I said, I think overall it's really enjoyable, but there's just these things that happen, and they don't happen very often, but when they do happen, it's so annoying. Like, that was just so weird. And then I assume she put that in the whole, like, it was a whole half a page talking about how he could not see their legs to see what they were wearing, but he's just assuming both of them are wearing skirts because all women wear skirts and everything. And then they walk into the house and he sees they're wearing jeans, and he's like so offended and flabbergasted. He's like, disgusting, like farmer's pants. These are not ladies, like these are creatures. I don't know his exact words, but that's like what it read like to me. This book is just questionable. I just really feel like it's not so much anymore that the author is trying to make it seem like he's misogynistic because he comes from a misogynistic time. I feel like this book genuinely is misogynistic, or like there's some severe internalized misogyny in the woman, Bobbie Holmes, who wrote it. Like, what is going on, Bobbie? Why are you writing this? Why are you writing it like this? Like, there's so many other ways that she could have shown that he is from an older time where misogyny was more accepted and where it was the norm. Like, there are so many different ways that she could have written that so that it didn't just be like so shocking and annoying. Like, it just is so many things whenever he's speaking, like little things like that. That was the biggest one for sure. But then there's so many other little things. And like I said, luckily they're few and far between. But then I feel like it's like all at once, like a whole bunch of stuff. And the FMC, Danielle, she doesn't do anything. She's not like, hey, Walt, that's not a good thing to say. Nobody says that nowadays anymore. Like, here's why that's not super great. And I would appreciate it if you didn't say anything like that. She doesn't say anything like that. She just giggles. Oh, Walt, with your beautiful blue eyes, like you could say anything. Like, you're so hot. It just like, and she's 30. Danielle, by the way, she sounds like a giggling teenage girl. It's those little things. And when I'm talking about them, I'm realizing how much they actually bother me. And so even though there will be like a chapter or two where it's totally fine, it's just too much in the book overall for me. It's 249 pages or something. Like, there's no reason for an entire half a page to be taken up of him talking about how he's assuming women are wearing skirts underneath and he can't see their bottom half. Like, that just didn't even have to be in there. That could have been out of the book, and he still could have thought the same thing when they walked in, like, oh, they're wearing pants. That's so unusual. I've never seen that. That still could have been in there if the author felt like she had to have it in there. She didn't have to have the half a page where Walt was like, I can't see what they're wearing underneath their blouses, but I'm assuming it's a skirt. Like, it was just weird. Like, I don't even know how to summarize it other than weird. Like, super weird, weirdest thing I've ever had to read with my own two eyes in a book like this. Like, just, I don't know. I'm gonna finish this book just because I feel like I'm so invested right now. I just really, really, really want to see what is happening with him. It's kind of like a murder mystery kind of vibe right now. And I want to see who the killer was, why they did it, how they did it. Like, I just am really invested into that portion of it. But I don't think I'm going to continue with the series because, like I said, 36 is way too much. His name being Walt drives me up an absolute wall. I don't know why. It just does. He's very misogynistic. I'm assuming he's going to get better once he adapts to life. But honestly, it just like really hits you like a semi-truck from the get-go, and it's strange. There's another character named Ian who's also super misogynistic. He describes one of the other main characters as super busty and exactly his type because he likes it when women are shorter than him so that they look up to him. Like, disgusting. And those are the only two men in the book so far. And they're both garbage. So I'm going to add that as reason number 5. All the men in the book so far, garbage men. And the women in the book, not super great either. To me, this book feels like The Mediator from Meg Cabot, only the million times worse version of it. And I'm so thankful that I read The Mediator first, because I loved The Mediator. And as cheesy and YA as it is, I really think it's good. And I think it does such a good job of a ghost being from, that ghost is actually from the 1890s, I think. So even older than Walt. And he's a million times better. His name is Jesse, which also the name does not give me the ick. It doesn't rub me the wrong way. I'm really sorry. If your name is Walt, I'm so sorry. But I just feel like Jesse is more modern. And Jesse sometimes was misogynistic, but he, for the most part, caught himself and said, I'm sorry. Like, I was brought up in the 1890s. Things were done a certain way, and I'm still learning. I understand it's different nowadays. You know, the way we did things in the past was wrong sometimes. And he says that flat out, which is super nice and super refreshing. And I understand Walt potentially is gonna become like that, but he's not like that right now. And I feel like Bobbie Holmes just took it like from 0 to 100 right off the bat. And it just makes me not want to continue reading to see if he's gonna get better. I just think Meg Cabot did such a better job. So yeah. I'm gonna finish book 1 and then probably I'm gonna stop there. And yeah, and then you'll just have to check out my next vlog for updates. I hope that you guys have an amazing reading week. I hope you had an amazing New Year's and an amazing begin to 2025. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.